The anime begins in the vicinity of a mansion, with a boy wondering what it means to see, since everyone tells him that he cannot see. His mother and brother feel sorry for him, and his father explains that seeing means being able to perceive colors and shapes, but that his eyes were affected by the scar left by the holy knight Estoa, and that he should be proud of it. Kunon accepts this, but comments to the maids that, although they are heroic scars, it's a shame he can't see. He then wonders if the reason he's treated as a pitiable person is because he can't see. Sometime later, one of the maids informs him that teacher Jenny has arrived and leads him to her. Kunon comments that studying magic is really boring, and the maid tells him he should take advantage of this opportunity since he has the water crest, and having the ability to use magic is something amazing. When he arrives, the teacher introduces herself to Kunon, saying that from that moment on, she will be his magic teacher and that her name is Jenny Course. Kunon uses a spell called Howdy and manages to form a ball of water. Jenny praises him, and Kunon asks what kind of magic was used. Jenny explains that he is using magic very well to produce water, and that he made something about the size of an eye. When Kunon puts his hands on his eyes, she apologizes, saying she just wanted to simplify things so he could understand. Kunon comments that it's about the size of what he's touching and says that maybe he could create an eye for himself with magic. The next day, Kunon is having breakfast and starts touching the things he usually eats every day because he's curious to know what they are like. He wonders what the juicy thing he's eating is, and the maid replies that it's lettuce. Kunon asks what's on his bread, and the maid answers that it's mustard. He picks up a piece of fruit and comments that it's an apple, but actually it's a plum, and he asks what it is. The maid replies that since he started eating a lot of different things, she's preparing more varieties. Kunon comments that he wishes he knew what he was eating, but since there are too many things on the table, he can't smell what's in his hand. Iko replies that maybe she went a little overboard, rubbing a purple grape on his face and asking if he can tell what it is. Kunon then threatens to cut her salary, and Iko stops bothering him, saying she just got carried away. Later, he is sitting with the teacher, and she asks which book he wants her to read to him. Kunon asks her to read a story about the holy knight, Estoa. She is surprised and looks at Iko, who confirms it. The teacher agrees, but asks him to let her know if he starts to feel unwell. Kunon says he'll be fine, since he's eager to learn about many things. Then it's explained that, some time ago, a great war broke out between the heroes of the human world and the demon lord. The hero Estoa Ruglia managed to successfully defeat the demon lord, but lost an arm and a leg in the battle. After the war, Estoa's descendants are sometimes children who are born missing something, whether it's an arm, a leg, or even their sight. People consider these children to be the return of a hero, calling this the hero's scars. Kunon, however, doesn't see himself that way, because he is himself and the magic he uses is his own magic. He then duplicates the water balls, and Iko excitedly shouts that it's perfect, both the control of the magic and the shape. Kunon thinks that if he can control magic perfectly, maybe he could even create eyes for himself. Iko says that he might be a rare mage. Kunon dispels the magic and collapses to the ground, saying that it's very exhausting, and that he's still far from reaching his goal, since his magic is still not enough. His maid completely misunderstands and asks if her love for him isn't enough, since she devotes herself to him so much, even going so far as to suggest that they could sleep together. Kunon immediately rejects the idea, commenting that he doesn't have enough knowledge or physical strength to create high-level magic. Iko says that he's only 7 years old and just getting started, to which Kunon replies that he's already behind, since he faints just from using basic magic. Iko says that suddenly increasing the amount of food isn't good for the body, and that he should get used to it gradually. Kunon comments that he wants to build more muscle, but that walking and running aren't feasible for him. Iko then asks why he doesn't train with sword strikes, and Kunon likes the idea. Iko tells him to look for a suitable teacher and leaves, saying she's going to talk to the boss. Kunon thanks her for the help, and she comments that she'd like a raise, which is immediately rejected, as Kunon says she makes too much noise during magic training. Iko replies that it's a good thing he listened, because if he had ignored her, she would have made him cry in bed at night. The next day, when Jenny arrives for the magic lesson, she sees Kunon training with the sword. Iko notices her presence and tells Kunon that the magic teacher has arrived. He greets the fencing teacher and says that's all for today, since it's time for the next lesson. Kunon thanks Master Auro. Jenny approaches, finding his interest in fencing interesting. Kunon comments that to use magic, you need both knowledge and physical strength, leaving Jenny impressed by how much he has changed. She asks if he wants to take a break before starting the magic lesson, and Kunon replies that he's fine. Jenny asks him to review the magic he learned last time, called Hauri, saying it's fine for him to start from wherever he remembers. Kunon uses magic to create several balls of water, leaving Jenny shocked. Iko starts shouting that her Kunon is amazing. Jenny can't believe what she's seeing since she only taught him a little, and what she sees now is entirely his own progress. She starts to find him scary. Elsewhere, we see a maid telling Mirika that her carriage is ready. Mirika wonders if she really needs to go. The maid asks if she dislikes going to see her fiancé that much. Mirika wonders if Kunon feels the same way she does, since he always has a sad face. The maid comments that it's a decision made by His Majesty, the King, and Mirika agrees to go. Inside the carriage, she keeps grumbling, since Kunon, who bears the hero's scar, is precious to the kingdom, and that's why they arranged this political marriage. As a member of the royal family, it's her duty, but even so, it's tedious. Every time she asks what he likes and what they could do for fun, but he always replies that he doesn't like anything, with a sad face, saying he can't do anything and can't go anywhere. Thinking that she'll have to see that gloomy face for the rest of her life is discouraging. When she arrives at Kunon's house, she sees a completely different boy. Kunon, smiling, greets Princess Mirika, leaving her in shock. She looks at Iko, who unnecessarily comments that the princess looks beautiful, and that if he were a big, bearded, middle-aged man, he wouldn't leave her alone. This makes Mirika remark that the example is pretty scary. What really catches her attention, however, is Kunon. He asks if everything is alright, and Mirika questions what happened to him. Kunon comments that he has started to like magic, leaving Mirika confused. Next, he takes his wand and casts the Auri spell, enchanting Mirika. She remarks that it's very beautiful, and Kunon creates a rainbow, impressing her even more. Kunon apologizes for always making her uncomfortable, and Mirika also apologizes. He reaches out his hand, asking her to listen to what he has to say, because many fun things have happened. She takes his hand, and the two of them go out for a walk. At night, on their way back home, Mirika comments that it was a lot of fun and that she's looking forward to next time. Kunon thinks that it was the first time he reached out his hand to someone. Iko says that this makes him a knight. We then see a flashback of Kunon asking how he should interact with Princess Mirika because he wanted to become a man worthy of her. The teacher says she will teach him about noble behavior and etiquette. That same night, Jenny is thinking about what she should do, since it's not normal for a boy to be able to maintain 7 water balls at the same time, something even she can't do. She realizes that Kunon improved too quickly and that now there is nothing left she can teach him. Jenny wonders if it's time to move on to intermediate level magic, but quickly closes the book when someone scolds her for making too much noise in the library. Jenny thinks that children should only learn basic magic and that this job was supposed to be something easy, with a very high salary. She's afraid to raise the level of magic because although it is useful, it is not something safe. Kunon is only 7 years old, and it's far too soon for him to learn advanced magic. Even so, she is willing to find a way and keep working for the sake of her own livelihood. The next day, Jenny tells Kunon that they will do something different, and he replies that it's fine. She then explains that Aori, the magic he uses, is simply the production of water, and that now they are going to analyze the nature of magic. Kunon comments that producing water and making it float allows it to maintain a spherical shape. Jenny congratulates him for noticing that. She explains that temperature, viscosity, components, color, shape, brightness, aroma, and taste, when analyzed, show that there are various types of magic. Even though they are all water type, they can be very different. Jenny creates 2 balls of water and asks Kunon to touch them. He touches both and notices that one is cold and the other is hot. Jenny explains that by adding arrangements to magic, you create originality. Kunon asks what that means, and she replies that this is the decisive individuality of a mage, which can also be called a difference in talent. Kunon asks if this is the ability to alter the details of magic. Then, he casts the Aori spell again, lets the water fall into a cup, and asks Iko to try it. She takes the cup and drinks, tasting apple flavor. Kunon says it's the plum getting its revenge on her. Iko comments that it tastes good and is easy to drink. Jenny is terrified because he managed to do an arrangement she spent the whole night thinking about how to accomplish in just a few seconds. She says that Kunon is capable of doing anything. Kunon comments that it was quite difficult and that he will try even harder. At night, in bed, Kunon thinks that he can identify the shape and scent of things, but he doesn't know their colors. Because of this, it's hard for him to notice magical changes, and he concludes that he won't be able to create an eye. The next day, Iko asks what Kunon wants to drink and he asks for milk tea. Iko asks him to provide hot water, and Kunon does it easily, which surprises Iko, who comments that for someone who can't use magic, it seems like a divine miracle. As he passes the ball of water over the apples, Kunon feels something strange and stands up in a panic. Iko asks what happened and Kunon says he thinks he was able to see. Iko gets super excited and says that if he's lying, she's going to slap him. Kunon asks her to calm down, saying that he's not sure yet and that he probably didn't really see anything. Iko pulls his cheek, saying that he needs to have more of a sense of humor, because tasteless jokes like that are unacceptable. Kunon then says that he thinks he was able to see colors through magic. He picks up a green apple and asks if it's correct to say that it's red, and Iko replies that it's not. He picks up another one and asks if that one is red, and Iko confirms, explaining that the colors and the names of the colors still don't match up for him since he's never seen them before. Kunon agrees, and Iko says that green apples are light green, which leaves Kunon even more confused by the explanation. Iko asks if he knows how many apples are in the jar, and Kunon replies that there are 5. 3 red and 2 green. Iko hugs him, saying it's a miracle. Then, she goes to report everything to Kunon's father, who is surprised. Iko explains that the effective range is still low, but even so he managed to distinguish the colors. The closer he is, the better he can see, and the effect becomes even clearer through touch. The father asks if Kunon can read books, and Iko confirms, saying that he can identify the colors by running his fingers over them. He doesn't know the letters yet, but he is fascinated by books and illustrated guides. The father feels relieved and asks why they don't return to the main house, since Kunon is living separately because he doesn't want others to feel bad for him. Iko refuses, saying that Kunon is about to go through a big change. The father agrees, but asks if she isn't trying too hard to take care of him all by herself. Iko replies that it's all right, and the father comments that her happiness is good for his son. Iko, not missing the opportunity, asks for a raise, which is once again denied. In the gardens, Kunon says he's looking forward to seeing teacher Jenny because he wants her to evaluate his new magic. He uses Aori again, but this time the magic is bigger and red in color. His mother, brother, and father arrive at the garden, and when Kunon sees his mother, he loses control of his magic and gets completely soaked. When he calls out to her, his mother faints, leaving Kunon confused. Iko then explains that red is also the color of blood. The father punishes him by taking away his allowance for 2 months and cuts Iko's salary for 3 months, causing her to panic and faint. In the end, we see Jenny terrified in a corner, wondering how far this boy will go and whether he might even achieve the greatest title in magic, known as the Blue Mage.